Here's my unpopular opinion for the day. Toxic stress isn't caused by having too much to do, it's caused by inaction. Stick with me here. It's easy to feel like the world is going to hell in a handbasket. It can seem super overwhelming to see the suffering caused by injustice or corruption or war. Or maybe you just feel overwhelmed by problems at home or at work. And to be honest, sometimes this makes me want to curl up in bed and hide. Like, this is a natural response to seeing so many problems around us. But in this video, you're gonna learn how to overcome the freeze response and turn toxic stress into healthy action. Now, when we're overwhelmed by stress or trauma, even when it's another person's pain, our brain can go into a freeze response. This is part of our built-in survival system. Fight, flight, freeze. It's what helps us survive real danger. But in modern life, this freeze often shows up as shutdown, avoidance, or numbness. And let's be honest, when the world feels stressful, inaction can feel really comforting. You know what I mean, like watching The Office for the 100th time or scrolling Instagram just to see more funny dog videos. For a little while, this inaction feels better than stress, but the longer we stay stuck in that freeze response, the more dysregulated our nervous system becomes. It's like what happened here. Let me show you. Where they took a flowing river and they dammed it up. We have all this stress energy and we just shut down. Like stagnant water, our thoughts become cloudy. Rumination takes over, anxiety grows, depression deepens, and we start to feel more and more helpless and hopeless. That's because inaction sends a message to the brain that we're not safe. I can't handle this. And the body listens. This is why people who are stuck in a chronic stress or depression often describe feeling powerless, trapped, or numb. It's not just psychological, it's neurological. And here's why. Stress isn't just some disordered part of our brain. It's actually a super healthy physiological response that is supposed to prime us to take action to solve a problem. But when you suppress that drive too long, your nervous system interprets the situation as hopeless. And that's what makes stress toxic. It actually increases cortisol, disrupts your sleep, weakens your immune system, and it makes you more anxious or depressed. So what do we do instead? How do we stop shutting down, freezing up, and just numbing ourselves to the pain of it? You can learn to overcome this freeze response. You can learn to manage these fears and these threats and the pain of the world in a healthy way. And at the risk of sounding like a complete granola, which I am, the river is gonna show us how. Okay, the actual reason they dammed the river here was to restore the ancient river delta. They diverted the flow to restore the ecosystem for birds, native plants, and an endangered fish. And yes, it's called the June sucker. Now, this is the only place in the world this fish exists. Now, if you check out the flowing river here, it's clean, it's vibrant, and even when it encounters obstacles, it keeps moving. Taking action, even small, imperfect, messy action, starts to create this kind of movement in the nervous system. And there's a lot of neuroscience behind this. Action re-engages the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that helps with planning, logic, and decision making. And it also sends a signal to your limbic system saying, we're okay, we're capable. And movement, literal physical movement, activates this ventral vagus nerve, which is responsible for these feelings of safety and connection. So your little action might be going for a walk, or getting dressed, or writing a journal entry, or saying one kind thing to yourself. It might be just making that doctor's appointment that you've been procrastinating, or helping someone else. And I'm going to come back to that in a minute. The technical term for this is behavioral activation, and it's one of the most impactful treatments for depression. Now, these actions don't erase suffering. They don't always even solve the problem, but they restore flow. They tell your nervous system, I'm not stuck. I can move, I have some control here. And this action is best, it's most impactful on your nervous system when it's taking even a small step towards solving the problem. So this is how we shift out of freeze response, out of that stagnant pond, and back into the activated, connected state. Okay, so what do we do about all this negative news, right? Like, the world's suffering is dropped onto your screen. Now, first of all, I would recommend finding ways to limit your consumption of news. but you can't block out others' pain completely, nor should you. Compassion is part of connection. When you feel empty, when you feel worried, when you see someone suffering, one of the absolute best things you can do is take some action to make the world a better place. John Rodell wrote, "Whenever I feel helpless in this overwhelming world, I become a helper. On the days when it feels like I have no power, I serve others. You see, whenever I wash the world's feet, my hands immediately stop shaking." Okay, here's the neuroscience behind it. Taking meaningful action literally shifts your nervous system out of a freeze response and into an activation mode, a healthier response to stress. It boosts dopamine, which helps with motivation and energy, and helping others can increase oxytocin, which calms the nervous system and increases connection. So this euphoric feeling is sometimes referred to as the helper's high. And the best part is it doesn't just feel good. It actually creates goodness in the world. I remember one week this summer where I was feeling stressed and overwhelmed with responsibilities, and I was feeling pretty tired. And in my church, we're all assigned another church member to befriend and support and help them when they need. And that evening, when I was really tired and worn out, my person reached out to me and asked if I could help her in her yard. She needed to get the dirt raked up before they put sod down, and they were leaving in a few days for a trip. So I spent the next 2 hours raking dirt. And you know what? I felt really happy and more energized. We chatted and we raked and we sweated, and I just felt a lot of joy. So my previous heavy, tired mood lifted. And I would love to hear your stories in the comments. When is a time that helping someone else helps you feel more joy in your life? Science shows that even small altruistic actions like volunteering, donating, or doing small acts of kindness can increase positive emotions. And a 2010 meta-analysis found that people who volunteer regularly report higher well-being and lower depression, especially when their motivation is genuine, when they're serving in a cause that matters to them, or they're working on a problem, they're making some small, impact on a problem they care about. And I feel like this is the missing key, right? In all the psych videos you've watched, or in all the therapy sessions you've attended, have they told you how happy service can make you? And I have seen this time and again. Working with someone with severe depression or anxiety, we can talk all day about their thinking patterns, and that does some good. But as soon as they start serving someone else purposefully, the light comes back in their eyes. Service is good for your mental health, not because it's easy, but because it's purposeful. So much of the messaging around mental health is self-focused. It's about making you feel more comfortable and self-care and making your emotions go away. But if I had to choose between comfort and purpose, I would choose purpose every time. When we have purpose, it metabolizes discomfort into joy. Now, you might be asking, here's the big thing that stops people. They feel like, what if my effort is too small in the face of the world's problems? What if I just feel like it doesn't make a difference? Your inner voice whispers, what's the point? My actions won't make a difference. I don't have enough time or energy or money to make a dent in the world's problems. And I would just say, these are self-protective little voices. They're trying to protect us, but they keep us stuck in freeze. And you guys, I feel this all the time in the face of the world's problems. So I constantly quote Margaret Mead in my head. She said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." So we are going to channel all of this stress and all of this fear into action. Now, I'm not saying we should just run around like a chicken with our heads cut off, frantically trying to fix everything in the world. That is a recipe for burnout. Small things truly add up. I guarantee you that 15 minutes of service a day or 1 hour of service a week is going to make a big difference in your life. Look at your screen time. I bet you've got a few minutes to spare. Heck, there's even stuff you can do right from your phone, like reading labels and signs for the blind, or writing your senator, or texting a friend. The best help that you can give is probably much closer than you realize. And I believe the most impactful service you give is right in your home, and then in your neighborhood, and then in your city. And the research shows that face-to-face acts of service and kindness are especially good at lowering levels of loneliness and isolation. And these small acts ripple outward. Serve and love your family. Make your home a safe and loving place. Pick up trash on your street. Help your neighbors out when they move or when they're sick or when they're mourning. You could go help out in your local soup kitchen or shelters or immigration support center, or you could adopt a trail. Last week I took my girls to the local food pantry and it was hilarious, but it was so good for us. And hopefully we helped out a little bit between all the messes we made. Now, my goal here is not to overwhelm you. It's to give you options that align with your values and resources. Find a cause that speaks to you and then give yourself a budget for the time, energy, or money you can give. So for example, you might decide, I can volunteer 15 minutes a day or 1 hour a week, and I have about $20 a month that I could donate to a good cause. And this, honestly, is what changing the world looks like. Each person doing small things to make their home and their neighborhood a better place. Okay, I hope this gives you some great ideas already about how small acts of kindness can add goodness to your week and make the world a better place. And here's one that you can do today. Millions of people around the globe suffer with diseases like cholera and typhoid because they drink contaminated water. Women and girls spend hours each day carrying water to survive, which prevents them from going to school or getting employment. So I've joined other creators to promote TeamWater. Our big push is to raise $40 million to bring clean water to 2 million people around the world. You can make a difference today. If you'd like to donate, you can go to teamwater.org. And for every like or comment on this video in the next month, I'm going to donate 25 cents to TeamWater. Now, giving $1 or $2 might feel small, but it's still a way to make meaningful action. It's just like swinging your feet out of bed in the morning to fight depression. Action is how you break out of freeze and overwhelm. Even when you're struggling and your own stream feels dry, sending a little water towards someone else might just get your own current moving again. So start small. Write a kind note, check in on a friend, donate to a cause you care about. Again, these might seem small, but they add up over time, and they're signals to your nervous system that say, we're not trapped, we're alive, we can flow. Now, I truly, truly believe that you and I can make a difference in this world, and I'm so grateful for this chance to do it. Thank you again for watching, and please take care.